All right, welcome back to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today's video is going to be a little different. What you see before you are two toys. Over on the right here, we have Transformers Prime or Transformers Arms Micron Wheeljack. This guy came out, I think, in 2012 or 2013. And then over here, we have Combiner Wars Wheeljack. This is a representation of the G1 Wheeljack character as a combiner limb, and he, I believe, came out in 2015, late 2015, maybe early 2016. Now, for my collection, I only ever keep one version of a character, so I want to do a little video. I've had this guy since he originally came out. This has been my Wheeljack of choice. Recently, I got the chance to pick up the Combiner Wars Wheeljack for a little less than I think what it originally retailed for. And I was curious and I wanted to compare them in a video, kind of discuss what I like and what I don't like so much about each figure, and then kind of see which one's going to end up on my shelf and figure out what to do with the next one. So why don't we start off talking about what I paid. So originally, I believe Arms Micron Wheeljack was $35 when I got him imported from Japan. What you get for the figure is you get this car mode. If you notice, it actually doesn't have any paint detail on it. All the detail on it is sticker. You got a sticker sheet you got to apply. You got the two swords that he stores underneath him. You also got, as part of the Arms Micron line, you got an Arms Micron. In this case, it's a little like spaceman gorilla thing. It comes with its own stickers and a little gem. It's like a little model kit, basically a sprue kit that you could build. That would be a little figure that also turned into a weapon, in this case, a sword. And something that the Arms Micron line did was put in extra pegs and ports from the Prime toys to work with their play pattern. So that's what you got for around $35 at retail for the Arms Micron line. Combiner Wars, I think originally the toys were going for maybe $18. Here you got the toy, obviously it's a combiner limit, has the combiner peg. You got your combiner hand foot gun. You got your weapon. In this case, it's a remold of the Stunticon's Breakdown toy. So it comes with Stunticon's Breakdown's weapons, Decepticon Breakdown's weapon. And every figure in the line came with a comic book. It's an IDW comic book. In this case, even though it has Wheeljack on the cover, he's, as far as I can tell, he wasn't even in this. Maybe he's in it for like a panel, but it's more about combiners in general, and this issue is the birth of Defensor. So that's what you got at the time for retail. Obviously, this is about twice as much as this guy importing from Japan. But nowadays, what's interesting is the Prime version of this toy was about the same price here. And nowadays, Prime Wheeljack, if you look on eBay, it doesn't have these molded features. It doesn't have this guy, but it has painted details. That goes for about $22 on eBay. This one, if I wanted to pick it up on eBay instead of getting it from where I got it, a local toy seller, looking at eBay for a complete set, it's like $33. So now, if you're looking online, you know, this guy is about $10 more expensive than the Prime version of this mold. If you want the Arms Micron mold itself, it's sort of closer to $50. So this did go up in price. But I found it interesting that the Prime version of this toy is pretty accessible. So we'll start with Arms Micron Wheeljack in terms of looking at the toys and just kind of look at his car mode. So he does turn into a sports car, very reminiscent to me of the G1 Wheeljack, kind of more modern and angular. We can get rid of that. The Arms Micron line, like I said, they remolded parts. You can kind of see this is a piece of plastic that's glued on to have that port there. These two ports are extra. On the spoiler, these two pegs are extra, so you can fit different Arms Micron figures. Here's another one. This one actually is a little Gachapon figure that transforms into a little Wheeljack itself and transforms into a sword. And that sword, you could put this port on this peg, and the whole line was just kind of armoring these guys up with different weapons and all that stuff. The Prime version, the only ports it has, I think, are on the side. These are original to the toy. But yeah, so this is the car mode. It rolls just fine. It's got painted rims. I think that's the only paint app. Everything else is sticker detailing, and it's, as far as I can tell, pretty true to the Prime version of this character. He's a ninja, so he comes with his swords. And a quick size comparison, you can probably see the Combiner Wars version is significantly bigger. But I'll talk to why I think that's a plus in this toy's favor in a little bit. So then looking at the Combiner Wars alt mode, getting rid of the extra bits, it's very G1 Wheeljack, right? It's that classic sports car look. It's got most, the vehicle mode, it's got most of the paint apps. I think up top, he's missing some green, I think, around here. He's also, there's some green stripes missing here. And then he doesn't have very many of the racing decals that the original Lancia had, but he does have the painted rims. Nothing, no paint apps in the back. But yeah, so these are the two vehicle modes. And then we can discuss transformation. We'll start out again with the Prime or ARMS Micron Wheeljack. To me, this is the biggest thing in the toy's favor. Combiner Wars Wheeljack, we'll get rid of these guns. Combiner Wars Wheeljack is basically the breakdown mold, which due to the combiner peg has all the same limitations. We'll start out by kind of separating the front from the rest of the car, whereas this has a very, to me, unique transformation. So you separate the front from the rest of the car, you're going to flip this up, and you kind of see the upper legs already, split them at the feet, and then you're going to take the foot and you're going to rotate it, and then you're going to take this shin piece, slide it up, and then you rotate it a quarter way this way, and it becomes a leg with that leg detailing. So this kind of transformation you don't really see on the Combiner Wars figure because everyone had to be a combiner lid. They all had that combiner peg in the center, which obviously this thing wouldn't be able to take. Then you come up, split the windshield, and come in the back behind the taillights and separate out the arms on those little shoulder sockets. And then come in, bring the chest down, and you're going to take this double hinge right here and fold that up and in. It kind of creates his chest, and you can see that Wheeljack head. Take the kind of the pieces that attach to the shoulders, rotate them up, and you see there are two tabs here. You're going to put two slots here. There are two tabs in his chest that you fold down and collapses and makes a nice solid chest connection. And then you've got shoulder details, and then you can come in and you take the windshield, you pull it out, and it separates, and then you can fold this down, and it creates the forearm. Same thing on this side, pull that out, flip it around 180, creates a forearm, and basically you have Wheeljack done. You can come back and take his little fins, and that's another G1 detail. And here we have Prime Wheeljack, and this guy is the Wheeljack I know and love. I don't really watch G1, the cartoon. That was before my time. But the Prime series got me back into Transformers again. Wheeljack he's an engineer like it was before, but he's also a wrecker. He's like a ninja kind of demo man. But to me, this is still pretty reminiscent of the G1 styling. It looks like kind of a classics take on Wheeljack. It's pretty clean from the back. Again, you can kind of see those remolded pegs. But those are kind of nice if you want to hang, let's say, take a sword and hang it from his back. He does have weapon storage capabilities. And yeah, so this is the Prime style Wheeljack, which I really like. I like the detailing we see in his bot mode. I like the articulation. He's got really good articulation in the arms. The elbows can bend plenty. The wrists move around on a double hinge and a ball joint. You've got single hinge knees, but they're pretty flexible. Toe articulation and ankle articulation and everything. So to me, that's a really cool toy. And now we can take a look at Combiner Wars Wheeljack. Again, it's the breakdown mold. It's got the breakdown transformation. There are limitations to it being a combiner. So you take the legs down, make the thighs just like you do for breakdown, fold down the toes and the heels just like for breakdown, come up top, take the windshield, there, if you can get a nail under it, fold that back, take the top and fold that whole piece back. You can get the arms out of the way and then come back in under the hood, and you can flip down his chest, kind of compress that in so it sits flat, and then the shoulders come up and lock the chest into place where it is. And now we've got kind of a G1, very G1 Wheeljack character figure. And to me, So it is G1, right? They both have, I think, that classic Wheeljack head. This is obviously a little more stylized for the Prime line. What I notice when I look at Wheeljack here is kind of a lack of color. Here you have this black, the windshield kind of breaking up. Here we have a windshield molded on for Wheeljack, but again, there's nothing picking that out. You have kind of the red and green here, but I wish it kind of went a little further up. I know in the G1 toy that detailing kind of went up. It was the front of the car that kind of came up. Same with the chest is kind of just all white. He's fine. He's a nice little deluxe. The big thing is he is a combiner. I'm not really going to go into that. But he's a nice deluxe. But if I'm looking at the aftermarket today and I'm looking at the two and I want a Wheeljack for my collection, looking at these two, like just off the top of my head, I think I prefer this guy. He's older, but I enjoy that transformation. I enjoy that alt mode. If you notice, he started out as a smaller car, but he's kneeling right now. But he's almost at the same height as the Wheeljack we have in Combiner Wars, and he even looks a little bulkier. I think the arms, I like kind of that. I know it's like kind of big gorilla arms, but I think that helps his silhouette. It makes him a little distinct. I'm really happy with that toy. Now, I think we are probably going to get another Wheeljack in the Siege for Cybertron line or some line coming down the road. Actually, if you look over here, there is that one G1 episode, I think it was the first episode where we got to see Wheeljack. He started out in a Cybertronian like hover car mode. Siege for Cybertron looks like they're going to try and do more Cybertronian modes, which I think would be really interesting. Hopefully we can see a version of the character like that. But for right now, I think this is going to be my Wheeljack, and I'm really happy with it. I highly recommend you look at the Prime version if you haven't ever checked out the mold. It's really good. It's a lot of fun to transform. It's a lot of fun to pose and mess with. I know it's not the original Wheeljack character, but I think it's a really cool Wheeljack to have on your shelf. And as for this Wheeljack over here, we'll figure out something what to do with them. I'll catch you guys next time on the next episode. Thanks.